Hey guys, this is Mrs. G, and this is a recording so that you can follow along and make a doorbell or a luggage tag. Whoever is running the video for you may probably need to stop it because I'm going to go faster, and then you can just stop it at each step. First thing you want to do, and thanks you for coming today, by the way. I'm sorry I'm remote. I had this long standing plans to come visit my mom, and so I'm here with my mom in California. So we are first going to go to tinkercad.com, and you can see the URL up here, and it's spelled just like it sounds, tinkercad.com. And when you get there, you should have the option of logging in with a class code. And the class code is right in front of you. So I'll have the instructor maybe just stop it right here so everybody can see the class code. And once you have your class code typed in, you're going to need a nickname. So if you were here last week, you have a nickname already. If you weren't here, you can use student 1, student 2, student 3, student 4, student 5, student 6, student 7, and we will edit the names later. If there's more than enough, more students than names, seems unlikely, you can just double up on one of these. It should be okay. Hopefully I will be teaching this live, not using this, but this is in case we have problems with our Zoom. So this is really, this video is just a backup. So once you've got your nickname, it will take you to the workspace. So I'm going to go, your screen looks a little different than mine. I'm going to go to new design and to 3D design. And that's going to open up a workspace for me. And my internet's a little slow here. And again, ask your instructor to stop as needed. So this is the workspace. This is called the work plane, and we're going to put our designs on here. And our designs have to lay flat on the work plane. Okay, that's the first thing I'm just going to show you. They can't be tilted, and they can't be floating up in the air. So here's our work plane. And so I'm going to pull a shape out. If you want to pull a shape out, go ahead, pull the shape out. And if you want a different view, you can use this little dice up in the corner to get a different view. Okay. If you get a little lost and tangled up, if you hit the home button, it'll take you right back to the default view. Now we got this big box. This has different, it's like a little properties box about this cube. We can just get it out of the way by clicking the arrow up. We're going to need it again later, but it's just going to stay there. We can change the color here, but that won't change the color of your doorbell. The doorbell is going to be the color of filament that I put in the printer, and I'll give you your filament choices in a minute. So here we go. We have our shape on here, and I can zoom in here. I can zoom out here. When I want to get rid of it, I can hit the click on it and hit the delete or backspace button. That was a mistake. I didn't want to delete it. I can hit the back arrow and I can go back a step. Okay. You can also use Control-Z on your keyboard to go back, Control-Y to go forward, and that's pretty consistent among most applications. So I'm going to grab another shape and I'm going to make it bigger and taller. So let's say I have two shapes. I'm just going to show you a couple of the tools up here so you'll know what's what. I can drag my mouse with my mouse button down. I can drag and select both of them, just like you're selecting a bunch of text that you want to copy and paste. You've probably done that. Or I don't have to do that. I can hold the Shift key down and click on each of these. So there's two ways to select these shapes. So I've selected both of them. I want to center them this way. So I'm going to click this and now it's centered that way. I'm going to center them this way. Watch, the blue one's going to disappear. So maybe I want to line them up this way. Now I can see the blue center. It's aligned that way. I can align it this way. I can align them on the top. I want them to be aligned on the bottom and center and center. So this is the align tool. And I'm going to Control-Z and go back a bit. So I'm going to make this one really wide. Unselect it and make it really wide so that it shows. So I'm going to do that one more time. I'm going to click one. I'm going to hold the Shift key down, click the other. hit the align tool. I'm going to align it this way. I'm going to align it this way. And now before I can print them, I need to turn them all into one shape. And this again is common among design tools. You have different elements that you bring in and you want to turn them all into one unit. I would hit this group button and you can see how it looks like two shapes that have been smashed together. Hit the group button and now it all becomes one shape. Oh, I would like to ungroup them because I want to make the bottom piece bigger. I see how this looks like two separate shapes. I can ungroup them. I can resize. Whoop, I want to just resize the bottom one like this. And you see how I'm grabbing these white blocks for their size? That's one way to size things. And now I'm going to select them again. I'm going to center them both with the align tool. I'm going to center it horizontally and vertically. And now they're both selected. I'm going to group them. I have one shape. Okay, that's what these are for. So we've learned the dice tool, the home button, zoom in, zoom out, group, ungroup, align. This just flips it horizontally. You can't really tell because it doesn't really matter. It's kind of symmetrical. Okay, so I'm going to backspace and get rid of these. And so I showed you how to resize. If you want to lift something in the air, you can pick up that little cone, or you can just change this number. I want this to be too high, and I'll show you why later. That's how you get that. That's called the z-axis. Just like in math, this is the x-axis. This is the y-axis going back, and the z-axis is what's going up and down off of the work plane. Okay. So those are the basic tools. Now I'm going to delete that one, and I'm going to make a doorbell. For my doorbell, or this can be a luggage tag if you have already made a doorbell. Kind of the same thing. You can have any shape that is flat on the top and flat on the bottom. That includes this part and star. Have to be flat on top, flat on the bottom. I'm going to make a heart-shaped doorbell. And then I'm going to show you how it can actually be a luggage tag. For a rectangular doorbell, typically the size is about 70 by 90. For this, since I'm missing some of the shape, I might make this about 90 by 90. I can grab the white boxes. Another way I can reshape is to see this ruler here. I can grab it down here, and that will show me all the dimensions. That makes it kind of easier because the height of this, it's 10. I only want it to be 2. The one the door wants to be nice and lightweight. You don't want to fall off your door. Make it 2. And I want this to be, if I want my heart to be more flat, I can do that. I can just reshape it. So I'll leave it like this. I'm going to make a duplicate of that. I've decided that's going to be my final shape. Once I know that's my final shape, I'm going to copy it here. I'm going to paste it because I need 2 of them, and I'll show you why in a minute. Okay, so I'm going to grab a hole, and I can actually make any shape into a hole, any shape that's actually flat on top and the bottom. If you want your hole to be, your hole can't be slanted like this because we have to put the doorbell in it. It has to be I'm sorry, this is a mistake. Your hole has to be round. That's for the luggage tag. My bad. For the doorbell, it has to be a round hole, and it should be 13 by 13. So see how I have the ruler here? I can just easily change it to 13 by 13. I can click on the hole, hold the shift key down, click on the heart, hit the align tool, and align it in the middle. I like it like that. I want to move it up a little bit so I can use my keyboard arrows to move it up. I want to add some text. So I'm going to click on here, click on the shape, and I've got this properties box. Well, actually, I'm sorry. I'm going to go over here first and grab the text. My bad. Grab the text. Now I need the properties for the text. I'm going to say ring. Okay, you can write whatever you want, but don't write a lot because you can't print small letters. So you can write maybe 1 or 2 words like please ring or ring, but don't write, don't come in, you bad person, because it's not going to fit. Just, don't write a Russian novel on this. Just make a doorbell. So I'm going to actually select all of them, all 3 of those, with my mouse or my trackpad and align it this way. I could also hold the shift key down and select all 3, the letters, the whole, and the heart. And that's how I can also, you see how the dot is grayed out? That means it's already centered there. I need to join this, so I'm going to click on these again and group that. I'm going to just drag here. And now I'm going to, they're all 3 selected, hit the group button, and they all become one shape. And my hole didn't seem like it went all the way through. So I'm going to Control Z. I'm going to grab my hole. I'm going to see this little cone. I'm going to push it down a little bit with the cone. So I know it goes all the way through. That is allowed to go under the work plane because as you can see, once I group it, it will be a hole. Okay. And it should be 13 by 13. So what am I going to do with this other shape? We are going to put this one, and this is going to be a base. So I need some little stands on here to put this on, and the circuit is going to go in between them. When you see the actual doorbell, you'll know what I mean. Sorry, I don't have a doorbell for you, and I'm out of town. You can make your pillars out of anything. You can make them out of cylinders. I can even make them out of a heart. So just to be whimsical, I'm going to make heart-shaped cylinders. And that again, make it flat. Okay, I'm going to resize it. I don't want it too big, but it needs to be about 18 tall. What tells you? I want it to be about 18. I'm going to put it here. It doesn't look very tall, but it says it's 18. I'm going to copy it. I'm going to even make it a little bit skinnier. And I'll click on it and I'll move it wherever I want it with my keyboard. Copy it. You can copy using Control C on your keyboard or copy paste. You guys have probably copied and pasted in other applications, the exact same thing. Now I'm just going to move this with the keyboard arrows. And if I hold the shift key down, it'll move faster. And again, that's pretty common in a lot of design tools. And I'm going to copy it again. I'm going to Control V again and copy that one. And I'm going to use my shift key and the arrow to move quickly. And they don't have to be super aligned. They just have to hold the other one on. I'm going to look around. That one looks okay. They're not sticking off. I'm going to move this one a little closer to the edge. And then that is my doorbell and it's done. So you don't have to do this. I'm just showing you. After I print them, I'm going to we're going to build a circuit and it's going to look like this. It's going to have a top and the circuit's going to be in here. There's going to be a button on here. When people push it, it's going to ring a buzzer. And then this is going to go on here like that. And that's what your doorbell is going to look like. And you can mount it on your wall and there'll be a button here. And it's going to go beep. Okay. So that is a basic doorbell. I'm going to show you how to make a fancy one. And this can also be a luggage tag. So I'm going to leave this down here. Actually, I'm just going to get rid of these. So I have lots of space. Oh, I didn't join. I forgot to group those. See that? Okay. So I'm going to make one that's a little fancier. This is 70 by 90. I'm going to make it a little bigger. I'm going to make it like 75 by 95 because this is a great technique. It's 20 tall now. I'm going to make it 7 tall. Okay. So I have one and it's 75 by 95 by 7 tall. I'm going to copy it. I'm going to paste it and I have 2. I'm going to move that with the shift key and the arrow. I'm going to make this one smaller. I'm going to make it say, I want a border of 3. So I need to make this one 6 less. So that one's going to be 89. This one's going to be 69. And it's smaller than the other one, right? Yeah. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to raise it up by 2. You'll see where this is going in a minute. I'm going to raise it up by 2. And it's a little hard. It's easier sometimes. Again, I've got that ruler tool. This is how you get rid of the ruler tool. We've got that ruler tool here. And this is the height. You can see how that changes when I do the height. If you're not sure which one it is, I want it to be up by 2. I'm going to turn it into a hole. And I'm going to hit the shift key and click this one. I'm going to group them. So again, shift key, click, click. I've grouped them. This one is too high. It's 2 millimeters off the ground. I'm going to center them and group that. And I have like a little border, and that makes it a little fancy. Okay. That could be a little fancy doorbell. Okay. So if I want to, I'm still going to need the base if I make a doorbell. So I'd Control C, Control V, and I would just, for this one, ungroup it and get rid of the hole. And I have these 2 bases. So on this one, I'm going to put my pillars, and they could be, you know, it can just even be 18 high, some rectangular pillars for my base. They really don't have to be very wide. They can be like 7 by 7 even, 7 by 7. Maybe a little wider. Maybe 9 by 9. And about 18 high. Yep. Get 18. Just type it in. And those are going to be the 4 pillars that I would put one on each corner. I'm actually going to make them a little higher than 18 with that border. I just make them, let's make them 20 for this one. 18 to 20 with the border. Okay, so I would put one on each corner. And you can use the align tool if you want. You can click, shift click, and align them this way, and align them this way. And you can do that with each one, or you can just either, they don't have to be right on the corner. Just make sure they're not hanging off. Just move them with the arrow. Whoop, wrong one. Move them with the arrow keys around until you get one about on each corner. And sorry, I can't see this very well. I'm a little tilted, so tilt it a little bit. These little curve things. See these little curve tools? That's how you turn things. So gotta group them before I keep moving this around. So I'm just going to move these up. Probably easier if you group it as you go, but kind of rushing here. That's pretty rough, but I'm just going to group that. Okay, so I want to move on over here. So I have a base. If you're making a luggage tag, you don't need this. If you want to make a luggage tag, you don't have to do this border, but it looks nice. Then you can put, like I put, if I'm making it for somebody's gift, I put their initials. I'm going to turn it. So you see this little turning tool? I'm going to put 90 degrees in there. I want to turn it 90 degrees. Now let's play on with this. Sorry, you guys. I don't know why. This tool isn't working. Yeah, I don't know what this is. This is something different. I don't know why this is doing it. So I'm going to do is I'm going to change the dimensions of this and keep my text this direction. I'm sorry, this is, I don't know, that tool looks like it's different than this usually is, so I'm just going to do it this way. But you could put a doorbell like this. I'm sorry about that. Put a doorbell in, put text on here, change your text. Make sure you've got the text selected. I'm going to reduce the size of that. I'm going to get 80 across. Let's see how that goes. Sorry for the weird view on this. I just get back to, there we go. Phew. I'm going to try a little bit slimmer. I can just make this what I want. Actually, I'm going to make this one into a luggage tag. If I put somebody's initials, I put their cell phone on here. Yeah, this tool has changed because these letters look a little weird. Maybe put a space in between them. Resize them. And what you need for a luggage tag, if you want to, you can also add like their cell number if you know it. And what the luggage tag, it's nice. It's going to be a very bright color. And it's when you, there's all these suitcases, you know, coming off the carousel at the airport, you know which one is yours because it's a very bright color. It's got your initials on it, and you can have your cell number on it if you want. It's going to be smaller to fit a cell number on here. And so you can see I'm going to have to resize it. Mouse till it fits and move it. So you got to resize that till it fits. I might even make my outside one a little bit bigger. Click on the number and move it to where I want it. And then last thing I need to put on here is a hole so that you can put like a zip tie or something on there. So I'll go like this. And resize this. The hole doesn't have to be too big. It could be fairly flat like this, fairly small like that. But it does have to go all the way through. So this is just a very rough rendering because I'm going a little fast here. Push that hole. My mouse isn't connecting. So I'm sorry about that. There you go. Push it down through. And these are too tall. I'm going to make them about 7 also. So everything is about 7 high. Might be a little small. I'm going to make it 6. That's better. Select everything in there and group it. And now what I have instead of a doorbell is I have a luggage tag. If this is the first time you're doing this, please make the doorbell because we're going to be doing a circuit to go with it. If you want to do doorbell and a luggage tag as like a holiday gift, you're welcome to do that. I'll print you 1 luggage tag in addition to your doorbell. The difference with the luggage tags too is I'm going to make them out of a flexible filament because you don't want a luggage tag to be made out of rigid filament because it'll break when they're handling the luggage. You want it to be really flexible. So is that going all the way through? Yes, it is. Might roll that a little bit this way. Group these. Let's group. Okay. So what I need to know, if you're going to do a luggage tag and a doorbell, do them in 2 different files. Make one of them and then go back to the Tinkercad and do a new design because I need to know what color you want them. Okay. So you're going to put your name because once I download these, all I see is a file. I don't see the picture. So I need to know your name, what it is, and what color you want. So I'm going to show you all the colors. So for doorbells, I have like a purpley pink. So I'm just going to call it purple. Okay, sorry. Name, doorbell, purple. Also have silver. I have bright green. It's a very bright green, brighter than this green on that says you are screen sharing. Bright green. I've got red. I've got white. That's about it. Orange, bright orange. Okay, those are the colors for the doorbells. So I need to know which of those. So you write your name, doorbell, and one of these colors. So I know what color to print it. If you're making a luggage tag, do your name, luggage. The colors I have are orange, red. I have white. I don't recommend white. It doesn't really pop and it can't really, it doesn't, not as visible at the airport. I mean, you're welcome to do it. It's just not as great. I have a white luggage tag and it doesn't print that great. I mean, if you're really set on it, you'd be welcome to do it. I do have it available, but I have a bright orange and a bright red. They make really great luggage tags. So if you're doing a luggage tag, because you've already done a doorbell, or you want a doorbell and luggage tag, make a new file, put your name, and then the color that you want. Teachers and helpers are also welcome to make luggage tags or doorbell. As doorbell. So anyways, I know that went really fast, but you can stop as you go. I gave you 2 examples, and if we don't finish them, we'll finish them next week, but it'd be really great if we could get them done so I can print them before next week. So thanks for coming again, and I'll see you next week.